Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Live with Virginia NORML for 2022. I'm J.M. Padini, the Development Director for the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws and the Executive Director of the State Chapter, Virginia NORML. As always, we're going to talk about all things cannabis in the Commonwealth this week. Can't wait to answer all of your burning questions and wish you all a happy new year. I haven't seen you all in so many weeks. Definitely more than two. It feels like forever. Hey, Wade, happy new year. Hi, Daniel. I'm great, thanks. Hey, Sherry. Hi, Lumpy. AJ's here from Ohio. Hello, friend. Hi, Sarah and Frankie. We have this awesome new platform, as I'm sure you all can tell by the amount of things that are on the screen. Thanks for joining me so we can test it out and see how it goes. Eventually, we'll be good at it. So what we were going to talk about originally today was the Legislative Oversight Commission meeting, but that got rescheduled to Monday. So we're not going to talk about that today, other than it got rescheduled to Monday. And if you want to come in person, you can definitely do that. I'm sure Cassidy can drop the link to the meeting in the chat for you. And it'll be Monday at 10:30. Yeah. Let me see. I'll see if I can post a comment. We'll see how that goes. I did it. Anyhow, oh, and Cassidy did it at the same time too, so that was fun. Anyhow, there is the studies link. That's the meeting, and that's the group itself for the Legislative Oversight Commission. And if you go down to the bottom, it tells you when the meetings are and how to find all the information. So you can stream it live on virginiageneralassembly.gov, or you can join us there in person. The Legislative Oversight Commission will be voting on its final policy recommendations for the 2022 General Assembly. So some things will definitely happen. We'll see how much gets done. Anyhow, that'll be Monday, but this week some things did happen, and no doubt you all know because you've been paying attention. 3 cannabis-related bills have already dropped. They're already out there. They're already making their rounds. You're putting your eyes on them. You're telling us what you think. And to make it even easier for you, of course, we have a webpage on the Virginia NORML website where you can track all the marijuana-related legislation moving through the Virginia 2022 General Assembly. I know Cassidy's going to drop that link in the chat for you right now, so you can go there and follow along, friends, with all of the ridiculousness that is cannabis policy in the 22 session already by Office Neighbor, who leaves every time I start a live. All right, friends, I'm going to tell you first. Some of you have already emailed us with great questions about these bills, by the way, but I'm going to tell you first about the bill that we have an action alert up for already. And this is House Bill 43. It can be a little confusing. Here's what it does. In 2021, we passed most portions of the legalization bill. Some of it still requires reenactment. But one of the provisions in the 2021 bill would allow a locality, a city, a county, a town, would allow a locality to opt out of having adult use dispensaries in that locality. The locality wouldn't be able to prohibit business for cultivation or for wholesale or manufacturing, but they would be able to have a voter referendum, meaning the voters would have to vote to approve or reject the referendum, to prohibit dispensaries and dispensaries only within that locality. Now, the thing about that, if a locality chose to hold this voter referendum, they would have to pay for it. It costs money to run a referendum, and that locality would have to pay to run the referendum. if they wanted to prohibit something that the state had decided is legal. If they wanted to prohibit a business that the state had decided is legal, they would have to pay to do that. Well, this bill, House Bill 43, flips that script and says, oh no, what we should instead do is require, if legalization passes, if the other part of legalization passes, meaning the licensing of retail, if that happens, then instead of just being allowed to license businesses because the state's decided it's legal, what this bill proposes is that if a locality wants to allow a business that is legal under state law, that the locality must then pay to hold a voter referendum. So this bill is proposing that if the state says something is legal, then any locality that wants to allow businesses that the state has decided are legal has to pay for a voter referendum to do so. This is because presumably the patron of this bill doesn't want to pay for an opt-out referendum in their localities. So we have an action alert that you should definitely send to your representatives in opposition to House Bill 43. If a locality wants to opt out, they should totally be allowed to do that. But if the state decides that something is legal, then that's just how it should be. Can't wait to hear your comments and questions about that. Hey, Randy, what about Kentucky? Wow, I hope you guys get it together in Kentucky soon. Also, hello, David, in my home state, Florida. Randy, you should check out the lives from my colleague, Jax James. I think she's going to start doing those also on Fridays, just a few hours before I do those. I know it's already on our YouTube and on our Facebook at NORML, so check that out and be sure you tune in for Jax's next live, which I believe will be next Friday, because she covers all of the states. But until then, come visit us in Kentucky, in Virginia. Hi, Rob. My new year is going great. Thank you for asking. Hello, Irie. Oh, Andrew, yes, we're going to talk about HB 72 next. Hi, Ryan and Scott. David is not optimistic if Biden doesn't evolve. He's really hurting himself. And David, we agree with you. Hello, Unique. Don, it could take forever to get an actual license. Ooh. Bernard asked if anyone's been to the new dispensary in Virginia Beach. Drop us a comment in the chat and let Bernard know if you've been. Sherry, thank you for sending the action alert already. Jennifer asked if there's any precedent for opt-out versus opt-in. Yeah, probably alcohol, huh? That guy can leave now. Hey, Marcy, good to see you. And hey, Doc, happy Friday to you. Andrew is wishing NORML's founder, Keith Strop, a happy belated birthday. We're not on H Street anymore. We're on K now. I mean, I'm in Richmond, but we did move from H to K. Hey, Joshua. Hello, Jeff. All right, so now that we said all our hellos, let's pop into House Bill 72, which I got a couple of emails about, and people were not pleased. This bill, House Bill 72, was introduced by Delegate Lee Ware, who also introduced House Bill 43, which we just spoke about. So House Bill 72. This bill is entirely redundant. Like that's just what I have to say to people. People were worried about this bill, and I'm like, look, this bill doesn't really do anything. What this bill does is called Marijuana Cultivation Facility Licenses, Prohibition on Sale of Plants and Seeds. So this bill intends to provide that if in the 22 General Assembly a license type is created to authorize a business to cultivate cannabis. This is kind of conflating. Is it to cultivate retail marijuana and perform related activities? Such licensees shall not be permitted to sell mature or immature marijuana plants or marijuana seeds to consumers. The cultivation license, by definition, is already not permitted to sell directly to consumers. So this bill is, in fact, redundant. But again, it looks like Delegate Ware wants to be sure that no one's selling any cannabis anywhere in the state of Virginia unless the voters in that locality pay for a voter referendum to do so if the state decides that it's legal. I don't know if we're going to put up an action alert on that bill. We can if you want. Let me know. I just feel like it's redundant, so we'll see. We could. I don't think it matters, honestly. Hey, Jesse. Jesse says, can we help get legislation to allow higher plant counts for personal cultivation? Based on the way, Jesse, you're not the only person to ask for if the personal cultivation plant count can be raised from 4. And I'll tell you what, in 2021, I did get it raised from 2 to 4. I don't think that we have a legislature based on how Virginians voted that would support an increase in plant count. When we do, we'll get right on that. But Virginians are going to have to elect those people first. James says Indiana is very far behind. Hey, Scott. Scott asks if Cannabis in Virginia Beach is attached to one of the medical dispensaries. And yes, it is. Cannabis is the brand name for the dispensary that Columbia Care has opened in Virginia Beach. So we see that we've already seen that happen in other parts of the state. So Jushi is the parent company of Beyond Hello, which operates in Manassas and Sterling. And my fingers have blue from my pants on them. Then we have Rise is the name of the dispensaries in Abingdon and Salem, but they're really owned by GTI. And then Columbia Care has its first dispensary, of course, is operating as Columbia Care, but now its second one is operating under the brand name Cannabis. So it's still the same company, just a different store name. Great question, Scott. Hey, Daniel. Daniel says he's just waiting for the prices to get lower. He read an article that said Virginia had the highest cannabis prices in the country. Yeah, I read that same article too. And this should come as no surprise to anyone, considering that we only have 4 companies licensed to provide medical cannabis in the state of Virginia. Friends, you might recall that the folks you elected to represent you in Virginia a few years ago, at least, decided that our medical program needed to be so tightly controlled and hyper restrictive, and we could only have 5 dispensaries in the entire state for 8.5 million people. We were able to expand that, but just the tiniest bit, and that wasn't that long ago, to allow these 5 licensees, which is only 4 because of lawsuits, to allow these 4 licensees to have 5 more retail-only locations in addition to their one big facility. So that's why we have this tiny little medical program. And when you restrict the program like that, and when you have a state regulatory agency that has a stranglehold, perhaps death grip is a better name, on the patient registration process, we have like around 37,000 people registered. And I know so many of you are waiting for your registrations to come from Board of Pharmacy. when you make it really difficult for businesses to exist, for patients to get registered, and when you require that practitioners register to issue written certifications, it just creates the perfect storm for high prices. So, friends, vote. Don't elect people that enact terrible policies like this. Like Andrew says, vote and vote local. We have elections every single year in Virginia, and if you're not voting in every single one, you're doing it wrong. Hey, Adam. Adam asks, any progress on speeding up process times for cannabis patients? On paper, yes, there's progress. In practice, no. So what's happened is patients are supposed to submit their registration online and then receive an email from Board of Pharmacy, and that email has their registration number, and then that's sufficient. They have their number, and they have their written certification that they were issued from the practitioner. And so they're supposed to be able to take that and go to the dispensary. When they give them their registration number, then the dispensary can look up that they're in fact registered. They make a copy of their certification that they got from the practitioner, and they're good to go. But we haven't really seen that happening yet. We still are getting tons of calls and emails every single day, all day long, and after hours, and on the weekends, and on the holidays, saying, I don't understand what's happening. Where's my registration? Where is my card? Why is it taking so long? Why is the Board of Pharmacy's voicemail full? How come no one will email me back? So, yeah. Adam, in theory, there is progress, but hey, someone let us know. Let us know how long you've been waiting for your card, or if you have applied recently and gotten your registration number, let us know that too. Yes, David. The Libertarian wing of the party does support legalizing cannabis, but the Reagan Bush conservatives not so much. That's fair. Hey, Brian. We will rock on. Daniel asked, aren't there only like 5 people or something on that board team? There are more people on the Virginia Board of Pharmacy Board of Directors, but I think what you mean, Daniel, is yes, there is a small number of people currently on the Cannabis Control Authority Board of Directors, because there's not a lot going on at the CCA yet. It is super small at the Cannabis Control Authority. Hi, Nini. Yeah, Andrew says he's a federal employee, so that sucks, he says. But yeah, something's got to happen at the federal level for that. No, I am not ignoring the YouTube live chat. Hello. And West Virginia did just begin their medical cannabis sales there. If someone's in West Virginia, hey, let us know what it's like in your state. Hey, Banks asks, with regards to the 4-plant allowance, is it per person or per parcel of land? No, it is per household. 4 plants per household. So a household is the place, the primary residence where people live. So it could be you and your roommate, right? Or it could be you and your entire family with 6 children. It would still be 4 plants per household. There you go, Alan. Thank you. Oh, Daniel. Okay, Daniel's asking about the Safe Banking Act. Yeah, nothing's going on with safe banking right at the moment. But we do have an action alert for Safe Banking Act. I'm gonna put that in the comments too because I can, just like that. Good job, me. The legislation did pass the House on April 19th. This is the Safe Banking Act, meaning the U.S. House of Representatives. It passed on April 19th, 2021, with a vote of 321 to 101, with 100% of Democrats voting yes in favor of the Safe Banking Act and 51% of Republicans. However, SAFE has not come up for a vote in the Senate. John, no, there are no licenses of any type yet whatsoever for adult use cannabis in Virginia. Jeff says, so if one has 2 households, a primary residence is you may cultivate up to 4 plants per household at your primary residence. So you gotta pick which one. Hey, Kwame asks, anything happening on releasing cannabis prisoners in Virginia? There will be legislation introduced to address release, review, and resentencing in the 2022 General Assembly. And I think that we might talk more about that on Monday at the Legislative Oversight Commission. Hey, Scott. Scott asks, once everyone gets to buy from dispensaries, who is going to grow all of that product? Those would be businesses that are licensed for cultivation. And Scott also notes that the 4 existing companies would not be able to keep up. That is accurate. That is accurate. Michael says, any word on the medical store in Waynesboro? Oh, that is currently held up in court. Like I'm like, Waynesboro, that's Health Service Area 1. Stanton, wasn't it Stanton? Yeah, I think that's where it was. Here's my sticky note for that right here. That's currently in. So the request for applications for Health Service Area 1 for the licensing of the pharmaceutical processors, that license is in legal dispute. And hey, if you want to go to the circuit court system, you can log in and look up that case yourself, because I'm awesome. I'm going to put that case number in the chat for you. There you go. You just log into circuit court and click on Henrico, because that's in Henrico, is where that case was. I don't know if I can do that during a live. I can try. Tell you what's going on. Circuit court case information. But yeah, until that is resolved, nothing can happen with either the existing license or the new license that was filed. The new RFA, I shouldn't say license, the new RFA that was filed. See if I can get it to pop up. Ooh, that's a civil case, not a criminal case. Let's see. Oh, well, the case has been continued and continued and continued. So this case started way back in September of 2020. Yeah, the original filing was 9/4/20 for Health Service Area 1. And the last time they were in court was November 19th on a pretrial motion, and it was continued. So a whole lot of nothing is happening for Health Service Area 1 on that license. I keep that handy. Hi, Vitito in Mooresville, Indiana. Whew. Hey, Banks. Banks asks, are members only cannabis clubs legal in Virginia? Can they gift their members? So how do I want to explain this? So the short answer is no. And I understand that's not a popular answer. But can adults 21 and older get together in private and exchange cannabis if they want up to 1 ounce? Yes, they can do that. But what they can't do is exchange any goods or services reciprocal to that cannabis transaction. So if you, let's say, paid to join a club and then got some cannabis, that would not be legal. How about that? I hope that's a good answer for you. So remember when we were talking about bills? Wow, we got off track. There's still one more I'd like to tell you about, and that's House Bill 79. And this bill is a doozy. You might recall that in 2020, we had not one, but two special sessions. And during this during 2020 special session, we passed some big traffic related legislation. And there were a number of provisions passed, and one of them, and it's included in this bill, one of them, which is currently in effect, prohibits a law enforcement officer from stopping, searching, or seizing a person, place, or thing based solely on the odor of marijuana. The operative word is solely. So you could be driving recklessly and smell like marijuana, and that would not be solely, so it would be grounds for probable cause for search. Now, House Bill 79, introduced by Delegate Ronnie Campbell, seeks to repeal that, as well as a number of other things that were enacted in 2020. So we'll definitely have an action alert up on that, because we just stopped searching, seizing, and stopping people, places, and things based on solely on the odor of marijuana, and why we would want to go back to that, I don't know. Yeah, Nini, right? LOL indeed. Hey John, Happy New Year to you too. When is the next session to discuss licensing? Well, the General Assembly starts next week. It starts next week. So we're about to get hot and heavy into discussing all the cannabis legislation in Virginia. Fonz brings up an excellent point. Automobile exception shouldn't apply to marijuana if it's legal. And hey, this wouldn't be just about traffic stops. It would be your house or whatever. I mean, this one is about traffic offenses, but it has broader implications than that. Well, friends, there's some bills out there, and I need you all to go take action on them. I need you to read them and know them. Take action. Let's see how that goes. Funsies. All right, all the bills are right there. There's an action alert up on one of them. We'll have more coming. Tell them what you think. Hey, speaking of things like that, let's talk about the governor-elect Youngkin, and what he apparently thinks about cannabis legalization, which admittedly up until this point hasn't been a lot. He hasn't said much. He was largely silent about it on the campaign trail. There was a tweet from a campaign staffer, but he himself didn't say much. And Virginia Business sat down with Governor-elect Youngkin and asked him a bunch of questions. And if you scroll way, 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 way down to the very bottom of the article, then you'll see that they, in fact, ask him one question about cannabis. Well, I guess two sentences about cannabis. And he says this. He says, I will not seek to overturn the law on personal possession. When it comes to commercialization, I think there is a lot of work to be done. I'm not against it, but there's a lot of work to be done. You should read this for yourself. Cassidy is going to share with you the link to the Marijuana Moment article that covers this and asks me some questions about what I think, about what the governor-elect said and what should have happened. And let's not mince words. Democrats missed a real opportunity in 2021 to enact a regulatory framework for adult use cannabis. Instead, what we ended up with was a reenactment clause that was demanded by just a few legislators, and purely for political reasons. These political motivations, folks thought that it was going to help Democrats get elected in 2021 by having a reenactment clause. Anyhow, like I said, ultimately it's Virginians who are losing out on this reenactment because of this reenactment clause that was based entirely in political motivations. So good job, Democrats. Thanks for that. We'll see what we can do in 2022. And it's not going to be great. It's not going to be what you all want. We all know that already. So we talked about the 3 bills that are out already. Talked about the new dispensary opening in Virginia Beach. Congratulations, Virginia Beach, for that. Talked about the very limited statements that the governor-elect has made on cannabis policy and that work needs to be done. We can all agree on that. And then I'm going to remind you all that in 2 weeks, it's going to be time for the Virginia Cannabis Conference. How did that happen? I have a banner that does a thing like this. So cool. So if you haven't yet registered for the Virginia Cannabis Conference, it's taking place here in Richmond, January 22nd and 23rd. Please, after this broadcast is done, scoot on over to virginiacannabisconference.com and get your tickets now. There's also still a few rooms left at the hotel. You can book those using the accommodations link on the conference website. You can stay right at the conference hotel. But I can tell you those rooms are going to sell out. So book your hotel if you want to stay there. And you do, because it's a nice hotel. And they gave us a very excellent rate because they think we're very nice. That's what I said when I met with them. Not what I said, what they said. They told us how nice we are. I was like, oh, that's very kind. So please join us at the Virginia Cannabis Conference at the Delta Hotels in downtown Richmond, and be nice to the people at the hotel so they'll continue enjoying having us there. What else can I tell you, friends? Ooh, maybe if I click on the chat, then I can see your comments. Hi, RC. Thank you. Hey, Banks. Banks asks, if I grow 4 plants, how much can I store before I grow my next 4 plants? Banks, I can tell you what the law says, but I can't tell you what it doesn't say because it doesn't say anything about that, but it does say that an adult 21 or older may have in public or on his person up to 1 ounce of cannabis. Doesn't say anything about what you may store or possess in private, not on your person or in any public place. But I do expect that that will change. I do expect that there will be a personal possession limit set or established in the 2022 General Assembly. That's what I think. Great question. Thanks for asking. Ooh, I would recommend to anyone that we're going to delete your comments and then we're going to block you if you keep posting spam. Oh, Roy is ready for adult use to pass in Arkansas. Hey, Roy, we have a really excellent Arkansas NORML chapter. So if you haven't connected with them, please do. They're great people. Hi, Luke. Maryland's NORML just popped in the live. Hello, good to see you, friend. Let's do a live with Maryland's NORML soon. Oh, that was fun. I love blocking people in the middle of a live. All right, friends, this has been fun. It's like been 40 minutes already. I mean, technically it's been 38, but close enough. I can't wait to see each and every one of you at the Virginia Cannabis Conference in January. Hey, Alan. The law says up to 1 ounce on his person or in any public place. The law doesn't say anything about what one may possess in private. It says literally nothing. Banks asked if minimum zoning requirements have been discussed in the new bill. The way the bill was drafted in 21, the intent was to use existing zoning essentially. So a cultivation business would be subject to the same types of zoning that a similar business would be subject to. There are some distance limitations that were imposed by the 2021 legislation and expect will be in the 22 legislation as well. Like 1,000 feet from a school or daycare or a church, I think. Hey, Roger, see you in Richmond. Nini, you can only have 1 ounce on your person or in any public place. On your person or in any public place. Your home is not a public place. Just don't put it on your person. You're welcome, Alan. Friends, you were very entertaining. But listen. Sarah, you're funny. Happy Friday. I got things to do. I got weekends to have and questions to answer before I go have said weekend. So let's wrap this up. If you are watching this later, drop your questions in the comments. We generally come back and answer them over the weekend. And we're going to do this all again next week anyhow. Remember, we're getting into the legislative session and we don't know what we don't know. So we don't know what's going to be happening on Fridays at 4, but as long as I am not stuck in a committee meeting, then I'm going to be coming to you live, telling you what is happening. Cannabis in the Commonwealth, just like we have for, gosh, going on like 2 years now. Hey, Chris. Yes, Wade, you probably did just have a spammer reply to your Happy New Year comment. Whew. All right, friends. Hope you've enjoyed the new version of Live with Virginia NORML. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Be sure to get your tickets to the Virginia Cannabis Conference, virginiacannabisconference.com, happening January 22nd and 23rd right here in Richmond. If you have not yet joined NORML, please do that. Head to norml.org/join and get your 2022 official membership card. The official Virginia NORML membership cards are on their way to the office right now. And as soon as they arrive, we're going to be busy mailing those out to you. I know you're all waiting for those, and we appreciate your patience. In the meantime, please buy something from our Facebook store or check out the NORML store. It's store.norml.org. Oh, hey, Chris from DFW. Good to see you. All right, friends. This has been tons of fun. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you all back here next Friday at 4. Bye-bye.